Hi, beautiful soul. I'm going to invite you to have a seat. I love to have a conversation with you about aging. I'm Lulu, Nutrition Goddess. Grab your favorite drink. I have my electrolytes. And let's have a heartfelt conversation from the soul about aging. I'll be 53 next month. And as we start aging, when we look in the mirror, we see the wrinkles. We see that our skin is not as tight. We see that we are starting to look different from what we used to look like when we were younger. So obviously, when we're looking in the mirror, or even when we're not looking in the mirror, there's thoughts that come up about aging. And I want to have this conversation with you because I think it's important to support you and to support myself in really encouraging ourselves to change the type of thoughts that we are having regarding aging. So as we look at ourselves and we know that we are aging, we're not becoming irrelevant, which is some of the things that we may be thinking about ourselves. We're not becoming irrelevant. We can look at it as a sweet 16, a renewal, but it's not to become younger. We're entering a new chapter in our life, a new chapter that is filled with wisdom, filled with experience, filled with soul. And so as we start changing our perspective on how we see aging, we're going to be able to enjoy the aging process. So the goal is not to stop aging. It's impossible. And social media, all of the messages that we hear out there, they're telling us to try not to age, try to look younger, get all these procedures done so that we can look younger. So it's always avoid aging. But it's part of the process. It's part of the cycle of life. So in order for us to enjoy this new phase in our life, if we change the perspective, we change the thoughts that we're having about the new chapter. And this is a time to actually live, but live with intention. We did what, when we were younger, we raised our kids. We created the career. We created the profession. We did all the hard work. And now it's time to allow ourselves to reap those rewards, to really celebrate ourselves. We've done so much. And if we have the privilege of still being here at an older age, that's a blessing. That's not a curse. That's a blessing. So many don't have that privilege. One of my sisters passed away at 29. I will be 53. She did not have this privilege to live this life, to be here, to contribute, to live with intention, to live with purpose. And so instead of seeing this as a curse, oh my gosh, I'm aging, and looking at ourselves in the mirror and saying, I'm aging, why don't we look at it as a privilege and say, wow, this is such a blessing. I'm still here. I'm here to live on purpose. And this is my opportunity to actually now start living. It's a new chapter to actually start living with intention. And in order for us to start living with intention is doing things that bring us joy, doing things that feed our soul, which is one of the phrases that I love to use a lot is whatever makes your soul happy, do that. Because that's why we're here. We're not here just to work, just to achieve, just to do. Let's start being. Let's start becoming the person that we are meant to become. Let's start embracing who we are. Let's start living with intention and feeding our soul. But in order for us to live with intention, in order for us to be able to feed our soul, we need to know what feeds our soul. Do you know what brings you joy? Do you know what makes you come alive? So get to know yourself. This is a new chapter where you can start getting to know yourself. Start getting to know who you are, what you love, what brings you joy. And give yourself those moments of joy. Allow yourself to have those moments of joy. I see this a lot And I'm one of those too, that when I was younger, I had a hard time allowing myself to feel joy, allowing myself to do the joyful things. That's a protective mechanism. That is a pattern that we learn as a protective mechanism from something in our younger years. So we protect ourselves and we think that, hey, I can't be joyful. I need to be serious. I need to be doing stuff. I need to be achieving. This is the time for you to live. Instead of preparing to die, this is the time for you to start living. And so my encouragement to you is, just because we're aging, just because we're getting older, that is not the time to start packing our suitcase and prepare to die. We still have a lot of years ahead of us, but this is the time for us to start getting to know ourselves. Start living with intention. Start doing the things that bring us joy. This is your opportunity right now. This is the aging process. See it as a blessing and see it as a, wow, I've reached a chapter in my life where now I can love myself. But in order for me to love myself, I need to get to know myself first. Because how can you love someone that you don't know? So take time to get to know yourself. Take time to get to know what you like, what you don't like, what brings you joy, and give yourself that. That is part of the new chapter that you're going into. Look at it as a beautiful blessing that you have. And start living with intention, with true intention. So whatever makes your soul happy, start doing that.